Hello, my name is Dr. Gene Eddix, and you know, something has just really been on my mind lately. And you guessed it, it's how to determine whether phenotypic mutations in two organisms are caused by mutations on different genes or on the same gene. So let me back up. We all know that organisms sometimes get mutations, and that sometimes those mutations lead to changes in the way they appear, their phenotype, right? Now, if two organisms have the same mutant phenotype, does that always mean that they have the same mutation in the same gene? No, and that's what's been bothering me. But luckily, there is a test that we can perform called a complementation test to help figure out if mutations in two organisms are on the same gene or not. How, you may ask? Basically, you take two mutants with the same phenotype and you cross them. If the baby comes out wild type, then the two parents had mutations on different genes, and their respective non-mutated genes basically cancel each other out. If the baby doesn't come out wild type, we likely got the same gene that is mutated on our hands. And you know, that was like really confusing. So let's look at an example with yeast. And I am legally required to tell you that things may get a little out of hand. Consider yourself warned. See here, we got two strains of, I guess, yeast men? But both are pink, and that ain't the normal phenotype around here. All the school children used to bully these pink dorks, and it's all because they have a mutation somewhere in their genes. You'll notice, too, that these yeast men are wearing pants, which is probably good for all of us, but we'll just call these pants jeans. Get it? Like the other type of jeans, but these genes are those, you get it. Anyway, on these genes, we see the genotypes of the yeast men. You'll see that these haploid men have the same genes. And that's important because when the two yeast men use their schmooze to schmooze, their diploid progeny they create is still of the mutant pink phenotype. You know why? Because their parents had the same mutations on the same genes. In the biz, we call this failing to complement one another. Or in other words, these genes are said to be in the same complementation group. And at the end of the day, their poor yeast baby will still get bullied on the auger playground. Boo-hoo-hoo. Once again, the pink OG strain is just standing all by its lonesome because of its ugly mutation in the P gene. However, as fate would have it on this brisk New Haven afternoon, along comes a new pink yeast man, mutated in his own right, but this time only in the W gene. The first pink yeast man is hesitant to mate again, scarred from his past relationship. The new yeast man insists that the OG yeast man gives him one more shot, give love one more shot, claiming he isn't like all the other strains. But these are all lies that the OG yeast man has heard before. However, in desperation to break his generational curse, he gives in to the new yeast man, and a passionate reproductive event transpires. The sobbing OG yeast man isolates himself, afraid to be hurt again. But to his surprise, he turns around and he locks his eyes with those of his child, a beautiful white yeast boy, heterozygous for both mutations. He cries tears of joy and embraces his progeny. He asks his co-parent, "How did you know that our yeast boy would be wild type when both of us are mutants?" The other yeast man gently smiles and replies in a somber tone, "While it's true, we both have our mutations. But where you are mutated, I remain steadfastly wild type. And where I fall short with my mutation, you provide our child with an undefiled gene. And in this way, from two imperfect, mutated strains, a wild-type strain has been born." Whew. I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me there, but hey, that's complementation for you. Really, a true roller coaster of emotion. That really got out of hand fast. But I'll let you go, and if you'll excuse me, I've got to go call my wife and tell her how much I love her.